Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we're going to do a should you pull for Jessie. So Jessie is dropping tonight, so I'm a little late getting this video out, but soon, or now is better than ever, right? We got it, we're going to get it out here. So on this banner, and this is a little bit different than what JP had because we've got the Penelo Global First. So what this banner is going to have is it's going to have Jessie. I'm using Rem as a placeholder, by the way, so just when you see Rem, that's Jessie. I don't have Jessie to be able to put in here for you. So we'll have Jessie, Barrett, and Snow. And then the other one would have Jessie, Barrett, and Penelo, right? Now, I'll kind of talk about these characters individually and then talk about if I think you should pull. So we'll start with kind of like the side characters first. Barrett is definitely not like a crazy meta character. He's kind of a generic-ish damage dealer slash debuffer. He does have some like off-turn stuff that goes on, but he's nothing crazy. He's not like a top-tier character. I don't believe he's getting a rework here or anything crazy like that. So Barrett's just kind of there. I don't really think you should aim for him. Now, if you get him on the side and you want to build him for fun, that's totally fine. His big thing is like enabling crit damage. So crit damage is a really big thing that Barrett kind of brings to the table, right? If you want some more crit damage. His call can be decent for that though, so I think his call is actually somewhat decent. Then we have Snow. Now Snow here, Snow's a really cool character, and you can see I've got mine maxed out. But at this time in the game, Snow isn't like the craziest thing because he's simply coming back and he's just getting his force enhancements, but he's not getting any like type of rework. So I think his damage at this point is going to be kind of lacking. If you're not familiar with Snow though, he is an ice damage dealer, ice imperil, so he'll get weakness damage, right? He is like considered a tank, and not a tank in that like he's not like typical tanks where he just like tanks everything for 0 damage. He doesn't have cover. He doesn't do stuff like that. It's just for the party, he basically reduces brave damage taken and HP damage taken. So he just allows the party to take a lot less damage overall. And he also does a lot, like his BT effect has a lot to do with like brave gaining and letting your brave gain overflow get crazy. That's why he has this thing called Snowverflow, where like you can go into a BT phase, get the brave to like a really high level, like way over cap, and then it doesn't go below that with the BT effect, and you can have characters like stack up huge damage. It's not going to be something I think people are using a lot right now. I think there are way more busted methods people are using just naturally in the game right now. Before it was kind of a way you could cheese things, but with Force Era and what we can do now with characters, I don't think Snowverflow is as relevant as it was. So I would also say Snow isn't a character I recommend people go like heavy on right now and save your resources unless he's a favorite, right? And Snow definitely can still be good. Like he's still runnable, right? It's just when I do these should you pulls, I'm always talking like what's going to be like the more meta relevant stuff that's going to get you by, right? So that's kind of those two characters. Now Jessie I want to talk about. I'm sure we'll put Rem on the screen. We'll pretend this is Jessie, right? Jessie's kind of cool and unique in that she's a delay-based character, and we haven't really had a lot of those lately. So she has a lot of delay in her kit, but then she also has turn manipulation. And turn manipulation isn't a very common thing that a lot of characters have. So I think Jessie is a very good, interesting character you can run if you like delay and turn manipulation strategies. She does pair well with certain characters. Namely, I would say Fusoya. If you built up Fusoya and you really like him, Jessie is like probably his best friend. Because one of Fusoya's big downfalls is that he wants to paralyze and then drop the LD to make it a 3-turn paralyze. The problem is that Fusoya rarely will get 2 turns before the enemy does naturally, right? So what'll happen is he can do a 1-turn paralyze, the enemies get their turn, the paralyze falls off, they can't use the LD then to make it a 3-turn paralyze. Jessie is so good for him because by delaying the enemies, you can just give him an extra turn so that he can make it a 3-turn paralyze. And through her direct turn manipulation, you could just pull Fusoya up so that he can lay down the 3-turn paralyze. So the combination of like Fusoya and Jessie is for people that really like shutdown strategies where you're basically either not giving enemies turns through delay, or when you do give them turns, then they're paralyzed, right? The one thing I will say with Jessie that could be something to watch out for is that delay and like taking a lot of turns in a row are typically two things that fights will punish. Not every fight will, but it's a pretty common thing for enemies to like get frame turns and resist delay. And also there are enemies that punish you if you take too many turns in a row. Like if you take 10 actions in a row, then they will jump up, do some ridiculous attack, and maybe auto-kill you or put down a crazy buff or something like that. So you just have to keep in mind that Jessie will get locked out of fights in a sense, in that they're really going to negate what she wants to do. Because the game knows that, like, with the roster we have, like, if they just allowed you to delay every fight and paralyze every fight, like, you can just no-turn every boss in the game. So it is something that they restrict a lot. So I would just keep that in mind when pulling for Jessie. So my recommendation here is going to be kind of split, where I would say for the average player, you probably don't need to pull for Jessie. She's not like a must-have. But if you're lacking turn manipulation or delay, like, she's a nice pickup just to have access to those things. So I think in that she could be very good. Me personally, I am going to go in on Jessie just because I like FF7. She's kind of a cool, unique character. And I guess I would call her like a favorite, like a character I'm pulling because I like her, right? Now, the one thing that's going to be very different from JP is, you know, we've got Snow on one BT, but on the other banner, we've got Penelo BT. And in JP, this was actually Dark Knight Cecil on the other one. So, huge upgrade over that, right? So, the other factor that has to play into this is Penelo is a ridiculous meta-defining character that I feel everybody should pull for, right? So, some of you, if you did not get her BT on her initial banner, but you've got the rest of her build and you're looking for a banner to pull her BT on, in that sense, then I would say, yes, Jessie would actually be a pretty good recommended one here. Because I think she's probably the better of the characters that will have Penelo BT on it. So if you're still chasing Penelo BT, then yes, I think I would recommend to go in and pick that up on Jessie's banner for sure. I would say that's definitely where you'd want to pull, right? So anyways, guys, you can let me know what you think of Jessie, if you're going to pull for her or not. I definitely am. But once again, I would say if you're a player with low resources, this isn't like a meta-defining must-have character, but very cool to get turn manipulation and delay in a character at once. I think she's going to be a lot of fun to play. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.